Involved in hundreds of winning elections, and we get our printed materials to you on time and on budget every time. Whether you're running for the courthouse or the White House, we will take you from concept to design and from print to mail or your supporters' front yards. Breaker Press can help you reach the voters you need. Call Rich at 773-852-5733 or email rich@breakerpress.com. For all of your political printing needs, visit us at breakerpress.com.
Megan Financial is an independent retirement and financial services firm dedicated to the working men and women of organized labor. Megan provides straightforward, custom-fit financial advice and specializes in defined benefit and defined contribution pension plans, as well as participant and retiree health and welfare benefits. Megan Financial has the knowledge and experience to navigate the union member through all phases of life. Call 708-444-1090.
Securities and advisory services offered through Cetera Advisors LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, a broker-dealer and registered investment advisor. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity. Office location at 5321 South 94th Avenue, Orland Park, Illinois, 60462.
Hi, I'm attorney Lou Kyra, owner and managing partner of the GWC Injury Law Firm. Over the course of just a few short weeks, COVID-19 has changed our entire world. During this difficult and uncertain time, it is now more important than ever to stay connected and try to help those in need. At GWC, we have the technology and processes in place to do just that. We are still signing up cases remotely and taking depositions and settling cases in order to obtain full, fair, and complete compensation for our clients. We want you to know that our team is working 24/7 to fight for your rights, just like we've been doing for over 40 years. We also want to take this opportunity to give a huge shout out to all of our first responders and healthcare workers who selflessly risk their health every day in order to save the lives of complete strangers. You men and women are the true heroes. From our family to yours, thank you, and please be safe. GWC. For your free remote access consultation, call me 24/7 at 312-999-9999.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. All benefits are subject to policy definitions, limitations, and exclusions. For details, visit qualitylifeinsurance.com.
Building a solid insurance plan is like building a place to live. It takes different materials to make it comfortable.
What about a castle? Isn't it just made of stone?
Castles are drafty, but that's not the point. Homes use different building materials, and you need different insurance coverage to give you security.
What about a teepee? Isn't it just made out of one thing?
Skins and poles, but let's stay focused. Quality of Life Insurance is affordable insurance from a leading company and can provide benefits if you're disabled or suffer a serious illness or injury and need help to preserve your lifestyle.
So it's a modern structure to meet my insurance needs.
Exactly.
To find out more, contact the Polaris Insurance Agency. Visit polarisadvice.com or call 312-951-2606 to learn about how we can help you make a plan for your future. That's 312-951-2606.
Itsashort.com. The website is itsashort.com, spelled ITSASHORT.com. We are the best designation on the internet for award-winning short film, video, and web series. Artists are from all over the world. They are award-winning from various festivals, but you can find us at info@itsashort.com, customer care at itsashort.com, and we'll get back to you straight away.
The following program, The Family Meeting, is sponsored by Polaris Insurance Agency and Eric Grant, and to the extent of their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
This is Miss Lady B, La Boricua. Now it's time for the Family Meeting News.
Here are real news highlights from the Family Meeting. Will County health officials say multiple people who attended a privately held makeup prom with hundreds of students and chaperones in Northwest Hobart, Indiana last week have tested positive for COVID-19. Officials said up to 270 people, both high school students and chaperones, attended the event. Illinois' current phase of its reopening plan allows for gatherings of only up to 50 people, while Indiana's size limits gathering sits at 250 people. Either way, it was exceeded, y'all. COVID-19 diagnosed. Not a surprise. Anyway, the entire federal appeals court in Washington said on Thursday that it would take up a case involving Attorney General William Barr's decision to drop the prosecution of President Trump's former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn, erasing a split decision by a 3-judge panel in June, ordering an immediate end to the case. A terse order from the Court of Appeals of the District of Columbia Circuit said that a majority of its members had voted to vacate a June 24th panel decision ordering the immediate dismissal of the case against Mr. Flynn and set oral arguments for the full court for August 11th. The move means that the legal and political saga for Mr. Flynn case, it's not over, people. It's not over. And finally, the taxpayers of Dallas, Texas may want to request a refund this week after finding out that they have been paying a pedophile to distribute child porn to other disgusting pedophiles online. This high-level cop's entire operation was conducted on duty on official government computers. Senior Corporal Daniel Lee Collins allegedly uploaded sexual photos of underage girls to various accounts using the City of Dallas's internet network. The investigation began with a tip to the National Center for the Missing and Exploited Children in May and another in June that images were being uploaded from multiple accounts held by Collins. An IT expert in Dallas later traced the IP addresses for the uploads and found them to be coming from the City of Dallas's internet network. Collins has allegedly even admitted to the child pornography, according to court documents, but he is still on the job, y'all. He has only been placed on paid administrative leave pending the results of an internal investigation. Man, that blue privilege is something else, isn't it? Yes. For more info about Eric, Richard, and myself and any upcoming events, please visit our webpage, tfmradioshow.com. You can also find us all over social media. Be sure to go and like our Facebook page, The Family Meeting. Follow us on Twitter at TFM Radio Show, on Instagram, The Family Meeting, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Family Meeting Radio Show, where you can see us live streaming this broadcast right now. Are you looking to advertise your business and event you may have coming up? Well, then become a cousin today. Send an email to Richard at info@tfmradioshow.com. I'm Teresa McDonald, and The Family Meeting Radio Show is on right now. So let's get to work, y'all, with your host, Eric Grant.
Are you looking for the best residential and commercial laundry service in the Chicagoland area? Then you want PleaseDoMyLaundry.com. That's PleaseDoMyLaundry.com.
Make a smart financial move for retirement. Make your retirement money into an IRA. Scheduled income. Support your dream. Explore investment options. Gain full control over your money. Give the money a chance for additional tax-deferred growth. How do you start? Call Polaris Wealth Management, the resource for IRA rollovers. Call 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Polaris Wealth Management is the resource for IRA rollovers. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. We help new retirees plan to protect their money. Securities offered through Line Street Financial LLC. Member Fine Rent SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Line Street Advisors LLC. Polaris Wealth Management and Line Street are not affiliated.
Hello, this is Jade Phillips, and I'm a management consultant in Chicago. I listen to The Family Meeting.
Welcome to the Worldwide Headquarters.
Headquarters.
There you go. I was wondering if you were going to have your reverb ready.
Headquarters.
That beautiful voice you hear is none other than Teresa. Eric is not here today, you all.
Nope.
How you doing today, Richard?
Awesome.
Good. Hey, guys, we are all over social media. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram, but also say hi on our web. Devin, where's my music? Right.
It's coming. It's there. Doing the a cappella intro.
Is that what it is?
A cappella, just like in church.
But also say hi on our webpage, tfmradioshow.com. Be sure to share your email address to join the family. On our webpage, you'll find our archive broadcasts, our music playlist, but most importantly, the live video of this broadcast is there, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, it's there right now. Go there, tfmradioshow.com. In our space shuttle cockpit, controlling everything for us today is none other than Mr. Devin. How you doing, Dad? You good? TFM is sponsored by Identity Guard. That's right. Take the time to protect your ID for as little as $6 per month with Identity Guard. Visit lookaftermyid.com. Do that now, guys. The lines will fill quickly today, I promise you. But you can participate in the discussion, y'all. All you got to do is call 773-763-9278. So welcome to the show, everybody.
Hello. How are you, T?
Man, I'm good. It's been a week.
It has been, for sure.
It's been a week. But, you know, I weathered the storm. I'm good. I'm here. You're here.
Yep.
We're all here.
Safe.
Yeah.
As my sister would say, got your good sense.
That clothed in your right man.
My sister Linda's always like, okay, if you're working with your good sense.
There you go.
You've never
opposed to bad sense.
Bad sense, right. Yeah, you never met her, but you guys would be, I could just see the two of you sitting and chuckling for hours.
I wanted to meet her when we were at homecoming last night. I didn't get a chance, but it's okay.
Yeah, it'll happen.
It's all good.
But you're doing good, dear?
Yeah.
Hey, Devin, thanks for helping out, man. I know you're doing the roller skate thing this week, so we
Eric
appreciate
is out. He's taking his little one, Mr. Malcolm, to college.
Yeah.
And he's excited about that, I'm sure.
Which one, Eric or Malcolm?
Well, you know,
that's a genuine question.
That is a genuine question, isn't it? I think it's probably, you know, bittersweet for both. You know? There's a happiness and then there's a sadness, you know. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we don't...
I'm excited for Malcolm, though.
I am, too. I'm excited for Malcolm, but I'm also excited in my goofy way for Tiffany and for Eric.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, you know, he's not going to hear it, but I'm so proud of them.
Oh, my gosh.
3 children today.
Oh, my God.
3 children today, 2 of which are adults.
Yep. And they finally got the last one off.
On his way.
And he's on his way.
And I remember, and I've said this before, when Malcolm was just finishing 8th grade, and you know, he was at that point where he's going to high school, and you know, he's watching his older brother and sister going on with their lives, and here he is just starting high school, like, you know, and you could, when you see him,
well, that's what happens when you have babies late.
Yeah. So he was like, man, this is just wrong. And he was fighting, not literally, but he was, you know, the standard, you know, 15-year-old.
I don't see it that way. I think Malcolm took advantage of everything that he could because he was an only child, technically, at that point.
That's probably
true. So he was at home sucking it all up.
He had the whole lay of the land.
Exactly.
So, you know, he got that driver's license quick, got it right, passed on the first time through.
I mean, when you get to have mom and dad all to yourself,
it's a special thing.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I went through that. You know, my sisters are, you know, older than I, and they were gone, and I got to have mom and dad for the most part by myself.
I still have to hear about that because my youngest was the same way.
Oh, that's
right.
He
had me all to himself.
Because you got spacing. That's right.
And so the older 3 would always say, "Mom, you treat him like you. We didn't have to get, you know."
Yeah, I know.
The baby.
I know. And see, and I can actually speak to that, you know, now 40 plus years later because I got that. Yeah. And my sisters were like, you know, they would just shake their heads sometimes.
I don't know. I think I was able to probably do, if there's such a thing as a better mothering or raising for him than I did because I had so many at one time and I was so very young when I got married and had kids.
Yeah.
But when I finally got him all to himself, him by himself, I could concentrate more. I could pay attention more.
Sure you can.
Because the other 3 weren't distracting me.
Well, and so that lends itself to the conversation in the bigger picture about where we are with our children going. I say our children. You know, I always say
they're yours too,
our children going back to school.
I need a child support check.
Right. all of our children, you know, in this conversation about going back to school. I've learned by watching parents who have children, quote, a little bit later than, you know, a 60-year-old parent would be today. And one of the things that I have noticed is what you just described, is that they've matured and it's just natural. They've matured. They've gotten through some things. You know, all those other pieces, those chess pieces are in a little bit more stable place.
Yeah.
And then when they have children, so I'm an advocate, if you could call it that. If a parent, mother and father, can wait, if that's their choice.
From a standpoint of, that part that you're speaking
just
of.
Just that narrow little piece, nothing more.
I don't know. Given what's happening today, I'm actually kind of glad I had my kids young when I did.
Well, yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to have babies nowadays. No offense to anybody that has kids right now that are younger.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's more of a struggle than even when our parents were raising kids.
Oh, gosh,
And what we're facing today with this pandemic and all now the parents are scrambling because they don't know what they're going to do with the children. You know, they still have to work. They still have to maintain. They still have to run a household. And kids at home poses a problem.
Sure it does. I mean, I only can I can't empathize and sympathize with those parents who have, you know, a 3-year-old to a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, you know.
I mean, what are we going to do? What are they going to do? There's no plan right now. Some of the school systems started with the plan, and then they scrapped it. Now they're all way back at the drawing board. Some of them are moving ahead with bringing kids back to school. What was that story we just heard of? First grader, first day of school.
Got it.
Tested positive. Walked in the door, tested positive.
Landed on him. I mean, it's awful. So this weekend I was looking at some stuff online and going through my HuffPost post, and I must be a little bit behind the 8 ball or late is a better way of putting it. But I read the little article about how the school in Maryland, the private school in Maryland, that Barron Trump is enrolled in.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Came out and said, nah.
Yeah, they've mandated that they won't start until when?
October 1st. It's not, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
But everybody else's kids have to go and be test dummies for this administration.
Yeah, so that's why I go back to what you just said. Raising children in that window right now would be really tough.
I'm just
still a joy, but really tough.
I'm just a little bit perplexed as to why our kids are, why is his child being treated differently than ours are?
Well, I mean, it's the obvious norm that we go back to is that costume color, but also the other costume color, which is the green one, the economic one, because there are children who are,
because he has zero interest in making sure that he's the example. He has zero interest in actually leading this country.
True. Yeah, there's a difference between. I heard a couple different things today that got my ear rather. I heard someone say that when it comes to this conversation about children going back to school, Betsy DeVos is not a school teacher or principal or superintendent.
Not even doesn't hold any kind of qualification to even be a substitute teacher, let alone leading.
She might be able to be the janitor. Mike Pence is not a doctor or even a first-year medical student.
But yet he's up there talking about the coronavirus and
how our children aren't going to get it. And the third is Kayleigh McEnany is not a scientist.
For the life of me, I can't understand why that lady's head hasn't just spontaneously exploded.
It's going to. See, this is where my little chutzpah gets into the mix. They aren't going to let. Could you imagine? Do you imagine if I had press credentials and got to be in one of those White House briefings? Could you imagine that, Tressa? See.
No.
Wait. Just have some fun with this.
I pray to God they never give you.
Just imagine this. Okay. Just imagine this. The world. I would be the biggest news story for that 24-hour cycle because
just 24 hours.
Every news outlet in the world, across the globe, the BBC would be like, BBC doesn't stand for
Al Jazeera, whatever you want.
They would be like, oh my God, you weren't afraid of losing your job, were you? So you asked the tough questions and the follow-ups.
Because that's the problem. They have these hand-picked.
Oh, sure.
Hand-picked, because he's not taking any chances with Yamiche Alcindor anymore.
Or Miss Ryan.
He's not having that. Having that anymore. Yeah,
or even that one lady the other day. I can't call her name right now, but what is this woman's name? But she got a little stiff with Kaylee. Like, nah, wait, hold on a second. You didn't answer my question. Well, if you wouldn't talk over me, I can talk over you because I'm still want you to answer my question.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's what we need. That's what we need. You know, the fact that they get up there and they ask these little mealy mouth questions, you know, which I think he's feeding them to say, to ask me these questions, because he won't call on anybody that he knows is going to ask him any question of substance.
Without a doubt. And that's so, and how that links up to where we are with our children is that's a conversation that those three people in the administration shouldn't be dealing with this.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't, meaning Betsy DeVos, taught, you know, been in even as far as we know, even on any school boards. And then, you know,
everything she does is for profit. Charter schools are for profit.
And the only reason that Mike Pence is in the conversation, or people are listening to his position, if you want to call it that, is because he keeps invoking God into the conversation about our children, and they need to be in that environment. And this is how.
Did you see that study that trumped up? And I'm going to say trumped up study that they came up with that said that more children are dying from
like loneliness and not being connected to. I thought,
people they fed that stuff to their.
Well, that's why they're blocking the CD.
Base,
supporters?
No. Yeah, you call it something that when he's feeding them, when he's getting them all riled up. I forget what you call it something. It'll come to you.
Okay.
But he's feeding that stuff and they're eating that stuff up.
Well, because they've no longer let the CDC reporting come to the general public. It goes through the filter and the. There
ain't no filter. That's the eraser.
It goes
cleanser.
through the eraser.
Yeah, because that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and so how are we going to believe that what they're talking about has any relevance and accuracy toward our children?
Yeah,
you know, I would just rather our children stay at home. They listen, Tressa. Tell me if I'm crazy. If our children missed an entire year of school.
I wouldn't want that to happen, but I can see where you're going.
I wouldn't want it to happen. But if they miss an entire year of school, think about it like this. They're going to live a long life. Mm-hmm. See, we've got everybody on this predetermined cycle. Think about this for a second, as objectively as you can. A predetermined cycle that they start school at this age, and then they finish school at this age, meaning K through 12. And then they go off to a 4-year school or 2-year JC or whatever.
Well, I have a whole different theory about how they're running school over here anyways. And we'll talk about that after the break. We're going to go to the break right now. But this week, I kind of was thinking about a few different things. 3 things to be exact.
Okay.
First thing was, of course, the schools, the kids. You know, how that's all going to play out. The second thing was... Bill Barr's testimony. Yeah, that's been heavy on my mind. And the third thing is what's going on with the post office.
Oh, yeah.
That's been the major thing for me because they're setting it up for something. Mm-hmm. And I think I know what it is.
Okay. We might be in the same sentence on that, but let's see, because I'm curious where you are on that.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that on the other side of this break.
Sweet.
All right, so stay tuned, everyone, for more of the family meeting. It's just Richard and they today. We're just going to talk, okay?
That's us.
Join us on the phone lines if you want, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you. 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting.
Is this cool or bad for my health? Chit chat with our Amy Wynn and stuff. She set the bar high.
This is Rodney Harrington. Keep listening to the family meeting.
Look around, it's just me and you. I'm on a mission for you.
The Law Office of Darnell Lyles is ready to help you. Whether it's personal injury, criminal, DUI, and OWI, nursing home, product liability, it doesn't matter. Call 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. That's right. When you're driving and get into a wreck.
You better call Darnell.
Had a few drinks too many? A cop hits you with a DUI or OWI?
I think you better call Darnell.
Arrested and facing criminal charges, misdemeanor or felony?
I think you better call Darnell.
Purchase a product that causes you or a loved one harm?
I think you better call Darnell.
When your loved one is neglected and abused in a nursing home?
I think you better call Darnell.
That's right, you better call Attorney Darnell Lyles and get represented right. the first consultation is free. Yes, free. So call right now. 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. Attorney Darnell Lau. Darnell Lau.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. All benefits are subject to policy definitions, limitations, and exclusions. For details, visit qualityoFlifeinsurance.com.
When you're doing chores around the house, it makes everything easier when you have the right tools. You wouldn't want to use a hammer to repair the switch on a lamp. The same is true if you're preparing for your future. The right tools make all the difference. For many people, Quality of Life Insurance is the right tool. It's affordable life insurance from an industry leader, so you know it will be there for your family if you die. But it can also be a source of income if you become disabled or have a serious illness and need living benefits to preserve your quality of life. And even gives you options to help build cash value for retirement. It's a versatile tool to help you build for your future. Call your local agent to shed a little light on the advantages of Quality of Life Insurance.
To find out more, contact the Polaris Insurance Agency. Visit polarisadvice.com or call 312-951-2606 to learn about how we can help you make a plan for your future. That's 312-951-2606.
Mom, Dad, let's talk. It seems like only yesterday your parents were offering you advice, but now you could be in a position to help them. Do they have a plan? How would they handle a long-term care event? Are they prepared emotionally and financially for the future? Starting those conversations can be challenging. Call Polaris Insurance Agency and we'll send you the Let's Talk guide free of charge. Call 888-355-7154. Again, 888-355-7154.
This is Lisa Lenore, writer, editor, and educator. Welcome back to the Family Meeting.
Okay, so
yes,
before we went to break,
yes,
and by the way, for all of you guys that are listening out there, listening to us, I'm probably gonna go from here to there, so just stay with me today, because my mind has been this has been on my mind.
Trust has got a big brain, y'all, and it's kind of like a tennis match on a hot summer day. I've
been playing tennis in my head all week with this.
Devin, I'm gonna adjust this. Don't kill me, man.
From other things that have been going on, like, okay, what's up with Representative David Perdue?
Well, this might be I'm going to say I don't know, but I mean that in the context of you could ask that question of a lot of Republican members of the House and some senators. What's like Elise Stefanik in upstate New York?
Very true.
What's up with that crazy A person?
Very true.
So I don't know the answer. I'm just going to say that there is the real person, the non-political person, that real personality, their real belief system, their real thought process is what's on display right now.
That's it right there.
That's all it is.
What we're seeing now is who
they really are. What they really believe or are willing to costume themselves as.
Yeah, because what's been coming out their mouth doesn't line up with what they're doing right now.
So you want to think that, okay, they're doing this for show, and who's their audience?
And then why didn't the fool in the White House call that out? Because it was anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Didn't he just sign some executive order that anybody that's guilty of doing some anti-Semitic stuff that they're supposed to be punished some kind of way? Didn't he just do that?
Tressa, this is the biggest game show.
Oh my God.
Reality show that we've seen in our lifetime. That's what it is.
In that ad that, for those of you who don't know, David Perdue ran an ad, okay, where he had a picture of Chuck Schumer.
Yep.
And he had a picture of his running mate, Mr. Ossoff,
right,
saying in the caption in big letters, the Democrats are trying to buy Georgia.
Right.
Let's not let that happen, or something like that.
And accentuating
Ossoff's nose. Yeah.
So using the word buy as though it's something that.
But it wasn't just the nose.
No, I know.
Yeah,
but that's what so many people talked about.
The media got lost in the sauce, and they focused on the nose enhancement.
Correct.
But they didn't focus on everything else that was going on, everything else anti-Semitic that was going on in that ad.
Even simply, literally, the word buy
Bye.
Because it's always been this, and I'm surprised you didn't throw in there want to make a deal with you.
Yeah.
But it's always been this trope that our Jewish brothers and sisters across the globe
own and control everything.
And want to buy everything and get a deal. And that was the part to me that I was like, okay. So, you know, trust again, it's just, it goes back. My simple response, let me say this, and I don't know if this is going to answer your question, but I am not necessarily investigating my navel on a lot of what's going on right now. And in other words, I'm not sitting there going, and I'm not saying that you are, I'm not sitting around going, oh man, I can't believe, how are they? Wow, where's this come? Do you know why? Because of something that I've learned and heard from you and somewhat learned from you and just other smart women across my lifetime. You know when something stinks. You don't need to. I mean, you know, come on. You. It's sort of like, look, everybody's twisting themselves in pretzels, and I mean a lot of the media representatives.
Yeah, because they immediately jumped on that. Oh, his nose was so enhanced.
And
what about the rest of the ad?
And so many people are not. I think that their brain has been so marinated down that they're not capable of simply going, that's who that person is.
Yeah.
And then reporting on that, who they are or what they've just shown us, rather than all of this spinning around, like you just said, to try to figure out what's wrong with this person.
I found it
Is that too
interesting,
simple?
though, because he did something at a time where there is a serious anti-Semitic conversation that's being had in this country right now.
Right.
Not just amongst Jewish people, not just amongst white people, but we saw it with Nick Cannon.
Yep.
Now it's going on in the black community. And now everybody's kind of got their hair on fire about what is anti-Semitic and what isn't. People are breaking the words down. Okay, anti-Semitic means Semitic. That means Semite. You know, where did the first Semites, where did the first Jews come?
Who are the real, right.
Who are the real
Jews?
You know,
and
so
all
there's
that
a serious conversation going on right now. And for him to do something like this, I just think speaks volumes to who he is as a person.
And the people around him.
And the people around him. So the fact that they're showing us who they are we believing them? David Perdue ain't fit to shine neither one of our shoes.
Nope.
He should never even have been elected.
It was all about where he came from, the family where he came
It
from.
ain't what you know, it's who you know a lot of times.
Bingo.
With that name Perdue. Okay.
Right.
Now, what about Lindsey Graham?
Well, Miss Lindsay, he's been very, very busy the last few months. And just, you know, not spending a lot of time at home with the folks in South Carolina.
You know.
And Miss Lindsay has been racking balls till the sun comes up.
Oh, my God.
So I just don't know what to say about Miss Lindsay. You know,
aside from the
and
fact
that's fine. Look, let me be clear. I am not making a statement about someone being gay or straight.
No,
let me be perfectly clear.
No.
Because if one is,
I think it's a foregone conclusion, though.
Then
but
just come on and
just come on and say it,
and be bold about it.
Yeah, be you.
Be you. Yeah. However, from a political standpoint, I am so happy that there is a viable candidate, and he could be white, he could be Hispanic,
other than Lindsey Graham
in that community.
Have you ever seen someone flip their script as quickly as he did with this dude in the White House?
I can't recall someone who's done it so outwardly.
And Jamie is put together a campaign that is being masterful at showing the two sides of Lindsey Graham.
And I love I've been following this guy. You may know who I'm talking about. His name is Don Winslow. He's a movie producer, and he did the movie Savages, which a couple years ago did very well at box office and the awards. Let me get to the point. Don Winslow is a writer. He's a movie producer, but he cut his teeth, as he likes to say, as a private investigator. So when he started writing, his writing
who did he investigate?
Well, hold on. His writing prowess was around investigating crimes, not necessarily murder, but just, you know, he's a criminal investigator. So guess where he cut his teeth? And I'll have to send this to you. About a month and a half ago, he had just been fed up with Lindsey Graham. And he said, Lindsay, as we get, he said, I think he said inside of 90 days coming up to the election, he said, you're going to need a U-Haul to deal with the skeletons in your closet that I happen to know about. And he said, remember how I got my start.
Wow.
And so to your point about Lindsay and his flipping and so forth and so on, I think that we're going to see more and more evidentiary information on him.
I love that.
Me too.
I love that.
And so I could care less if Lindsay is straight or gay. That's not the point. He's not representing the people, and and he's not representing the people that elected him, or even didn't elect him. By
So where does that complacency come from?
Because I think there's information.
Because we saw it in New York with Elliot Engel, which, by the way, I think that, to me, people that have been in Congress too long remind me of the old folks sitting on the front row in the church.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to call me up and tell, oh, Truss is being this. No. There's some people that go to church simply because that's all they know how to do.
And they can't see
and
who's behind.
And that's a routine for them.
Right, and they can't see who's behind them.
Exactly.
In the
You've
other
served on a deacon board for so long, that's just what you do.
That's what you do.
on the deacon board. You've been on the mother's board for so long, but that's just what you do.
Yeah, and for those who didn't grow up in a Baptist church, that translates into you might be in charge in the Catholic Church of the gifts every Sunday, which is the offering and such. So that's all you do, and you don't.
It's a job. It's not a calling. You're just there.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying with some of these representatives and senators that have been in for so long. You know, I support and am a supporter of term limits. I think there should be term limits, but I just don't see how is it that our eyes are wide open, but no one else sees these things?
Well, that's, again, Tressa, I go back to that's who those people are. So let's use Lindsay. Let's stay on that for another one quick second. So why is he not representing his people and flipping and become a sycophant for 45? I think plain and simple, when you look at the tapes of when he was just running in 16, let alone prior to that, you realize that there is information that there can, in my humble brain, there can only be one reason that you would play the game that way.
They got something on him.
They got something on him. And what they have on him is career ending, if not freedom ending. So that being said, I think it's that simple with Lindsay.
If it were me and they had something like that on me, I'd just say, the heck with it. Let me just go on and lose.
My father used to say to me, when you find yourself where you have you wrong, and everybody knows you're wrong,
exactly.
The worst thing you can do is keep saying that you're not wrong. People will have more respect for you. And this was the most mind-blowing thing. He said, son, they'll even give you some sympathy.
Man.
If you're willing to say, I was wrong, I shouldn't have done this, this is why I did it, that's not an excuse. And people will go, okay, because every one of us recognizes our frailty.
Yeah.
So Lindsay is so caught up in protecting the image that he's not able to. No, because he's not willing to stick to what he used to believe. If he were not caught up in protecting and keeping himself out of the hot water, did
he ever really believe it though?
Well, at least
because it kind of makes you wonder
if prior to Trump,
if what he was saying was just to be.
Well, if you go back to
if
you go back to the Clinton administration during that whole impeachment situation, no, you would go, hell no, he doesn't believe it, because back then he was saying, oh boy, got to go.
Exactly.
With far less evidence for a BJ and a conversation.
He's got a whole registry of stuff to say. But anyway, enough about.
So that's where I land on Lindsay.
About those sycophants, and I'm just pretty much.
And your boy Perdue, kind of the same thing. They're in that same bucket. I think they got something on Cotton too. Tom Cotton, for what how else do you say what he said this past week about slavery was a necessary evil? I think they're all saying out of the. I know I shouldn't have brought you there. Yeah. I know you want to talk about schools, bars, and the post office. So I'm sorry.
I mean, okay, for that. Well, that and all of these are obstructionists to what the American people need right now.
Yeah.
Which is the extension of.
They let it.
Benefits. They let that expire. So we've got Americans right now that are worried about how they're going to pay their bills. We're going backwards in this pandemic. We're not moving forward.
No.
You know, we've got people running around and saying, I don't want to wear a mask. You know, Herman Cain just passed away.
And then, yeah, I know. So what it tells us, trust me, we say it all the time, it just tells us that's who these folks are. Because if the voting bloc in South Carolina was not that way, they would say, you know what, Lindsay, you got to go.
Yeah.
If the voting bloc in Arkansas...
the gerrymandering, you're saying.
Well, okay, not so much the gerrymandering, just the people who are still keeping those guys and gals in office. I mean,
yeah, but gerrymandering has a lot to
Yes.
do with that.
So-
Because the Republicans know they can't flat out win on what they're so-called standing for.
Right.
Because it makes no sense. And I'm all for this butt whooping that America's taking right now. Trust me, because like we've said this so many times before on the show, black people, we've been getting our butt whoops.
400 years.
For 100 years. So we can kind of weather these kinds of storms. I mean, it's serious because it's killing some of us and it sucks. Yeah. But
that's probably the overarching, that's the biggest lesson right there. So for years, decades, women have been saying that there's sexism amongst us. There's misogyny amongst us. Women have been saying this forever.
Monsters in the closet.
Yeah, like Eric would say. Black folks and other people of color have been saying for years, racism is real.
Yeah.
And when that happens, the race card gets pulled or the gender card gets, people are saying we're playing the race card.
We're playing it.
Okay, or
There's
the
a
gender
race
card.
card.
Huh?
There's a race card.
Yeah, like we invented it. So we've been saying for the longest time, there's monsters in the closet. There's monsters in the closet.
They believe
Or
us.
as I like to say, don't go by the edge of the water. There's alligators. Don't go. It's slippery over there. And then the next thing you know, boom. So
we've got 40 million people right now worried how they're going to pay their bills.
Yeah.
Worried if they're going to be evicted because the moratorium on evictions have expired. And our government went home.
Yeah.
They went home. I mean, the representatives are there. Nancy Pelosi's still in Washington. McConnell then went home for the weekend. They said they'd be back on Monday.
Yeah. To do what? What are you going to go and do? There's nothing you can't do there that you can't.
What do you have to be for the Republicans to care about you?
The
notion
honestly,
that they say
white male and straight.
The notion that they say that people are going to keep taking this additional and staying home and not getting back to work is crazy.
It's totally crazy. So here's to this point. I mentioned Elise Stefanik earlier. She's not been in her district working to help her people that elected her. She's a Republican that calls herself a moderate, but she's had to shift now because she realized she got caught with her, curlers out of her hair. So she's been one of the proponents that wants to roll back Medicare. She wants to roll back Social Security, make it and privatize it. And she also has been one that's voted against the stimulus bills.
You know why they want to do that? Do you know why they want to do that?
I have a suspicion, but what do you?
We're approaching the point where we're going to have more older people than we are going to have younger people.
It's been happening for 7 years.
So the older people are moving out of the workforce and the younger people are supposed to be stepping up and into the workforce, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of the people that are leaving the workforce, the people that are coming in, the numbers aren't comparable.
And they're older and white. And the people that are coming into the workforce are younger and of color.
Of color.
Or they're like our man Devin, who's younger, smart, with it. And whether he's Republican or Democrat or in the middle, he understands that this is craziness.
Yeah.
And they can't handle that a smart young white kid like Devin is going, yeah, I don't agree with everything over here or everything over here, but this is stupid. And that's what they can't handle because they can't control him.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, I really, really want to get to what's going on with voter suppression and the United States Postal Service right now.
Yep.
I truly want to get to that.
We'll stop right in there.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. It's just Richard and I today. We're talking.
And we see you guys holding.
Yeah, we definitely see you guys holding. We've got Steve, Ron, and Eduardo.
You know you wanted to name your son Eduardo.
Actually, I didn't.
I know, just playing.
Anyway, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with more. Stay tuned with us, guys. We'll be right back with more on the Family Meeting.
My name is Cecil B. Lucy, attorney at law and a certified public accountant. Keep listening to the family meeting.
We have products that can change your life. Really? Sound like a big promise? If you're interested in helping people while you make a better life for your own family, then listen carefully. We have developed life insurance coverage that is so innovative that it's changing the way Americans think about, purchase, and use life insurance. Quality of life insurance is affordable life insurance that can protect your customers if they die, but it can also provide benefits if a policyholder gets sick or injured and survives. We are growing. If you like to help people and want to be part of an innovative company that values service and promotes a positive work-life balance, consider what we have to offer.
To find out more, contact the Polaris Insurance Agency. Visit polarisadvice.com or call 312-951-2606 to learn about how we can help you make a plan for your future. That's 312-951-2606.
Is your child prepared for the school year? Getting started early means a better chance of getting ahead. Masters Plus Tutoring in Homewood is the program that works. No matter what your child needs to prepare for the coming academic year, better study habits, organizational skills, or time management, Masters Plus can help. In fact, they tutor students in all subjects from kindergarten through college. Perhaps ACT, SAT, or Catholic high school prep are in order. Just visit mptutors.com and request a consultation. All sessions are taught by certified instructors in a private one-to-one setting to ensure each student receives individualized instruction. Whether your child is at a basic level or reaching for advanced placement, Masters Plus Tutoring can help. Call 708-798-8400 or visit them on the web at mptutors.com. Mention WCPT and you'll receive a $25 tuition credit with a purchase of 4 hours or more. That's mptutors.com.
Hey Chicago, this is Richard Chu with First Capital Insurance Group. Have you been looking for a way to better grow your safe money to make sure that your hard-earned income is protected from the inconsistency of the volatile markets? Have you often wondered how so many wealthy people protect themselves from loss when the stock market goes down, like it did during our most recent recession? Well, we have answers to those questions. We have solutions that allow you to win the market and inflation battle, reduce taxes on your hard-earned money, give you better than market performance by protecting your money during a down market, which allows you to leave a legacy for your family and loved ones, and most importantly, provide you with an income during your retirement years that can't be outlived, unlike your old 401k, IRA, pension, or mutual funds. So, if you want to revisit your old way of saving for the future and truly protect your safe money, give us a call at 312-243-4562 or go to our website, www.firstcig.com. That's www.stcig.com and click on the retirement planning button. We want to help you protect your future starting today.
This is Dr. Sharon Bethia. I'm Associate Professor at Northeastern Illinois University and the coordinator of the African American Studies program. Welcome back to the family meeting.
So as usual, you guys missed the conversation, as Eric would say, all the juicy stuff during the break. And as Richard and I were continuing to talk, by the way, welcome back.
Thank you, everybody.
763. Help me out, Richard. 9278. That's the phone number to call if you want to get in on the conversation. Okay, so let's talk about just what happened last week.
Okay. Go.
Monday, they was lulling us, didn't a whole lot happen
Little
last
pablum.
Monday.
Keep everybody happy and calm.
Yeah. Tuesday, the sugar honey iced tea hit the fan.
Yes, it did.
That was your boy Bill Barr.
Oh.
Bill Barr with me for.
Please elect me. You knew what we were going to do. Please let me become one of the. Just please, Lord. Just transfer my body into one of the, I love Jerry Nadler, but please let me be Jerry Nadler for a week.
Jerry Nadler needs to, oh my God. He needs some fire.
It should have been Hakeem Jeffries. I'm sorry. I'm just being a.
Please,
sticking with Barr.
I don't like Nadler. I
like him, but I don't like how he does these committees.
But I don't like he does these exactly.
Yeah, okay. So all right, Bill Barr.
So Bill Barr goes before the committee and And then
Tressa, did you see when he took a sip of his coffee and he did like this? He did, Devin. He did. He took a sip of his coffee and he rolled his finger up like this. I thought there are some words that can't be used that I just.
He was so disrespectful.
He was.
He was so nasty. He was so condescending, and he was so smug.
Yeah, all the above times 10.
With his answers.
Yep. Until a particular couple of Congress people decided I ain't having it.
Yeah, but he goes in there, and he basically, I don't care about the words that came out of his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
What he said was, I am here to do everything I can to make sure this man is protected. I'm his lapdog, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure he gets reelected again.
Which means that I'm going to continue to protect my 6, because if I protect him and make sure he doesn't get removed by whatever way. Though? No, I'm saying Bill Barr.
I know what he's saying, but what about, that's not his job.
That's not his job. And
his job.
This is the thing, and I didn't watch the entire thing. I just couldn't watch it. I got snippets of it. There were a handful of congressmen and women that did drill down. I wanted someone to ask this question. I wanted someone to flat out ask Bill Barr, not even give him the respect of Mr. Attorney General. I wanted someone to say, Bill Barr, as Attorney General, according to the Constitution, what is your job?
Oh, ask him what his job was? Oh, yeah, that would have been...
I wanted somebody to do that. I wanted somebody to just very simply say, Bill Barr, as Attorney General, according to the Constitution, what is your job?
This is
and
a part of it.
And then make him answer that question, and however way he was going to mealy mouth around it and do all the stalling that he does.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the part where these committees, to me, really don't get to the heart or the crux of the matter of what's going on. You're asking him these questions. You know you're being broadcast to the American people. So are they using it for just as much of a platform and a show as he is? Because his whole demeanor, his whole body was saying, I don't give a damn what y'all ask me. You know, he gave the respect to the Republican people who asked him questions. Sure did. You know, and they let him go on and on with his answers.
All the soliloquies.
It was all, he was obfuscating. That's why he was capitulating. He was doing everything.
Tressa, that's why I sat there and I wanted someone to just simply ask that question. Bill Barr, as Attorney General of the United States of America, according to the Constitution, what is your job? And then if he had come back with, well, what do you mean? I just asked you a very simple question. Please answer it. Because I wanted some chutzpah from the Democrats, like nasty chutzpah, like this kind of chutzpah. Check this out. So, Bill Barr, if you're going to choose to sit there and play legalese with me, I have a pretty clean background, so I'm not worried about what you're going to do or try to do to me. As a U.S.
You wanted them to say that?
I wanted somebody to have the chutzpah to go there.
Oh, okay.
To say this to him. So I need you to stop playing this game and answer our questions. Otherwise, we have measures that we can use to help you answer these questions.
There was an article out this week in, I think it was Vox, Vox magazine. And Vox did an article, and the article simply stated, when an ideologue meets a grifter.
Wow. Quite a combination.
Yeah. Barr actually believes, and this is, I think, is the whole premise behind what he's doing. Barr actually believes that the presidency in this country, that the president should have absolute power. He absolutely believes that. That's one of the reasons why that fool picked him.
And if you go back to the Bush administration, Bush 2, Cheney used that executive power. He manipulated that, but
this was a direct contrast from the Bill Barr during the Bush administration to who he is today. So what I'm trying to figure out is, where did he make this change? Why did he make this change? And what is he doing with it from here? Because him being the top cop, as they say in this country, he's not he does not have the American people's interest. He's skirted the rule of law, pretty much trashed it when you really think about it.
Well, I don't know why he evolved. I think I could probably pick a point when he kind of evolved, if you want to call that, or shifted. It was partly due to the people that he got off during Bush 1's administration that were part of Iran-Contra with Reagan. That's part of it. And then the other piece is how he helped Cheney manipulate the understanding of the executive power in the Constitution that gave Cheney the ability. If you watch the movie Veep, that'll explain it better than I can in the time that we're on the show. Watch that movie with Christian Bale where it's about Dick Cheney. Yep. It's very, very eye-opening. But let me just come back to something about current with Barr. Why he's doing it and where do we go? Where does he go? This is the reason that all of this is why he's doing such a crazy job of defending 45's action.
For him to get up there and just be so outright. I mean, they're not even denying it anymore. They're not trying to hide it anymore.
I know, which is kind of crazy because let's take the position that 45 doesn't get reelected, he's got to realize there's 5 attorneys who would, for free, go after Barr.
So this
in the civil proceedings.
So this then becomes an all and out brawl to stay in office because they know. So to me, that's worse than someone who knows that they could potentially win. A person who knows that they are probably going to lose
is going to do everything they can.
Right. So they're kind of like, it's like, I don't know. I don't have anything. Right.
It's constant Hail Marys. And that's what we see right now. It's all Hail Marys.
There's a new book that came out about him, too, about Bill Barr. Yeah. Norman Eisen wrote the book. And it's called The Case for the American People. And it was about how Bill Barr came out there and gave that synopsis of what the Mueller report was. But he broke it down and shows exactly where Bill Barr just flat out lied and what he did when he came out there and he said that essentially he was that the Mueller report exonerated Trump, which it didn't. We know it didn't. That it created so many legal problems and hoops for Congress to kind of do what they needed to do to get past that. Because people would say, well, if the Attorney General's office doesn't see anything wrong with this, how can Congress have a problem with this? Because that's the Attorney General's office, right?
Well, what's happening, too, is a lot of people are getting a civics lesson.
On they're getting their butts toe up on this civics lesson.
Work. Do you want to grab these calls before or after the break? Because we got 3.
I got it.
So, all right, coming back to Barr real quick. I think that he recognizes he has to do nothing but Hail Marys right now and be blatant about it. Because if he doesn't, I think he views it as his way of gaining support in the event that 45 doesn't get reelected.
Yeah.
So now Barr is going to peel off as much as he can in support so that after this is all done.
Oh, so this is all about him now. I don't see that. Because if he was doing things differently, I would say but no, he's not protecting
completely
himself.
Exposed.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, all of that is open. All of that is wide open. So I don't get it. I don't get it. And that was just Tuesday. We just on Tuesday, dude.
I know. Barr was a complete, utter disgrace. Yeah. Just disgusting.
Even before he came to Congress and said what he said.
I know.
But the fact that it's on the record.
Even better.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. And Eric Stilwell was probably the one that came the closest in asking him about what his job was with the Constitution and everything. So I appreciate that. But anyway, like I said, that's just Tuesday. We still got
a couple more days.
2 more days in the week to go.
All right. Gotta go to a break.
So I do still see Steve and Ron and Eduardo and the rest of you guys. I still see you guys holding. We're going to take a break. I'm going to do the news. We're going to come back, and I promise you we're going to get to your phone calls, all right? So we're still on Tuesday. We still have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to go. And we still need to talk about what's going on with the United States Postal Service.
We'll get it.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
All right. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
This is Matt Fisher. You can find me at Mr_Funny87. Chicago, stay straight tripping, booze, because we got more of the family meeting.
Texting, so I'm just making a call.
Hey Chicago, are you always on the go? Take the new Shy 311 app with you to find the information that you need, submit non-emergency city service requests, and much more. Download the new Shy 311 app, built with Chicagoans for Chicagoans. That's Shy 311 on the App Store or Google Play, or check it out online at 311.chicago.gov. Stay informed with Shy 311. It's your gateway to Chicago services.
The reason that it's important to advertise on the family meeting is that we have an economical way of reaching a great audience. One could say it's not cheap, but what we like to say is that it's an effective buy for a business or an individual who wants to reach a quality audience. The reason that it's important or a good place to advertise is that our cousins love to patronize. I'm Richard Chu, also known as Bad, the Black Asian dude with the family meeting. For more information on advertising on the family meeting, you can reach us at info@tfmradioshow.com. That's info@tfmradioshow.com. You can also contact us at area code 708-794-6444, 708-794-6444.
This is Miss Lady B, La Boricua. Now it's time for the family meeting news.
I'm Teresa McDonald, and here are real news stories from real research that we are following here at the family meeting. Representative Raul Grijalva, I think I said that right, has tested positive for COVID-19. After a week in Washington, D.C. that included a hearing where Representative Louis Gohmert also tested positive in recent days. Grijalva, Democrat from Arizona, is asymptomatic and in self-quarantine at his residence in the Washington area. It isn't clear how Grijalva contracted the virus, but the hearing with Gohmert is a possibility. For weeks, Representative Louis Gohmert, Republican from Texas, has defied expert advice on how to thwart the spread of the coronavirus. He was seen walking the halls of the Capitol without wearing a mask. He often didn't social distance. Then on Wednesday, came the bad news. That brother tested positive. He was tested before taking a flight. He was getting ready to take a flight with Trump, but he learned he had become infected. But even as the conservative congressman vowed to avoid spreading it to others, he continued to ignore expert advice. He insisted on returning to the Capitol, where he lives in his office. Yeah, y'all heard that right. He lives in his office on the Capitol. Yeah, prompting his staff to insist that he find somewhere else to quarantine. He has continued to use the Capitol gym even after his diagnosis, and he used his platform to spread false information about the virus, saying that those who test positive later become immune, and suggesting that face masks make it more, not less, likely that one will become infected. Yeah, he said that. By the end of the day on Wednesday, Gohmert had emerged as a national model for exactly how experts say people should not behave during a pandemic. He was blasted by Democrats as a pariah who should leave the complex to avoid further spread. Louis Gohmert lives and sleeps in his Capitol office, Representative Gerald Connolly from Virginia said in a tweet. Now that he's tested positive, he cannot be allowed to quarantine there. He's put members and staff at enough risk already. I wish you well, Louis Gohmert, but you need to figure out a better option. The news of Gohmert's diagnosis reverberated on Capitol Hill, raising fresh questions about testing of lawmakers and protocols amid the coronavirus pandemic, and prompted the Justice Department to announce that Attorney William Barr would be tested because guess who he sat next to at that meeting? Wait a second. The Justice Department said Barr tested negative. Okay. Gohmert, who was frequently walked around the Capitol without wearing a face mask or maintaining social distance from others, was in proximity to the Attorney General on Tuesday before a congressional hearing at the Capitol, and both were maskless. I cannot make this stuff up, you guys. I swear to God, I can't. So Nancy Pelosi announced that she is implementing a new order that will require all lawmakers to wear masks while appearing on the chamber floor, and is also considering other measures to more strictly enforce the wearing of masks across the Capitol complex. Republicans have ignored that order. Yeah. Visit our website, tfmradioshow.com. And for all of you that watch us live, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for notifications, archived audio and video of the broadcast, as well as our music playlist. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at TFM Radio Show, and on Instagram, The Family Meeting. And please, family, you know what to do. Don't forget to show us some love today. Send us a message to The Family Meeting on Facebook or email to info@tfmradioshow.com. The news today was brought to you by Identity Guard. Each year, millions of Americans fall victim to identity theft, but you can protect yourself by visiting lookaftermyid.com to sign up for as little as $6 a month. That's lookaftermyid.com. Do it now. I'm Teresa McDonald, and this has been your Family Meeting News. No Eric today, guys. Sorry. But Richard and myself will be right back with more of the Family Meeting.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Make a smart financial move for retirement. Make your retirement money into an IRA. Schedule income. Support your dream. Explore investment options. Gain full control over your money. Give the money a chance for additional tax-deferred growth. How do you start? Call Polaris Wealth Management, the resource for IRA rollovers. Call 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Polaris Wealth Management is the resource for IRA rollovers. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. We help new retirees plan to protect their money. Securities offered through Line Street Financial LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Line Street Advisors LLC. Polaris Wealth Management and Line Street are not affiliated.
The name of my business is Mrs. Indecent Exposure. We are an intimate aromatherapy, massage, bath, and body shop. We have the best aromatherapy, bath, and skincare products available. You can find us in Chicago and on the World Wide Web. We're located at 6916 West North Avenue in Chicago, 3 blocks east of Harlem Avenue. 773-417-3223. Mrs. Indecent Exposure, MRSNDEXPO.com.
This is Gene Marlowe with PopulousPromobile.com. Populous Car Service, the people's choice. You're listening to Family Meeting.
That's all right. We made it back.
Devin, I swear to God, I love you.
Devin doesn't make any excuses. He's just like, I dropped that ball. Keep going. He just keeps on moving. Tressa,
Welcome back to the Family Meeting, you guys. I swear to God, we be having some conversations during the break.
Devin said, rightfully so, we need to put Ruth Bader Ginsburg in a bubble. And he hopes she lives until she's 130.
I agree. We can't
take no chances.
Cannot take any chance. When I heard that she had been hospitalized again, even for a little bitty mind, my heart just said, "Oh no!"
Every time something happens to that woman, I'm like, "Please, Lord, get us to January 25th, not 21st. A couple extra days."
I wouldn't be surprised though,
if they try something.
No, I wouldn't be surprised that if in her. What do they call it? Resuscitate or whatever. She said, "Keep me on life support until after the election."
Yeah, because they can't nominate.
They can't nominate unless she's actually dead. Yeah,
correct. Mm-hmm. Incapacitated is not a
exactly
because they can operate with 8. They can't.
Yeah, no,
It's
they
happened
no.
before.
I bet you.
Hell, we did it when Alito, not Alito. What's his name died? We went with 8.
What was his name?
Scalia, or is it Alito? I don't know.
I don't remember.
In
The one
any
that
event,
the one that died.
The one that died.
Yeah, they did something with him.
They went 8 months. We went 8 months. We went until the new election.
Yeah, because the McConnell refused to give what's his name. Yeah,
Garland.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyhow,
they'll try some stuff.
They will. They will. That's
they'll
why
try some stuff.
I said this on Twitter. We need to protect. We need to have 24/7 watch and bodyguard for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And now that lovely Louie has got the coronavirus.
How fitting.
How fitting. We need to make sure that Speaker Pelosi is 24/7 protected, because if 45 and his boyfriend, Vice President, something were to happen to them, whatever that definition is, she's the next in line.
Yeah, and don't get into this whole thing about Trump talking about we're going to delay the election, which he has absolutely no power to do.
It's a game show.
But they'll never. First off, the Republicans will never let that happen.
No, here's why they can't let that happen, because they know that there's some districts that if we don't have an election and they don't get reelected, that doesn't mean that the White House, that they're going to they're going to continue to remain in power.
Exactly.
They know that they've got to be elected to those seats.
To be in power,
Because
exactly.
I talked about this about a month ago, that the way that everybody's running this down, like he's not going to leave, he's not going to have the election, he's not going to leave if he loses and all that other craziness. No, it's not. It's and this is where the media is dropping the ball. We need to have a civics lesson damn near every day now, because he doesn't have the power to do it. But more importantly, if he were to try to stall the election or not leave the White House, quote, do you know who actually becomes president?
I do.
Nancy Pelosi does.
No.
Yes, she. Oh no, not Nancy. It's the president pro tem of the Senate. Thank you.
Exactly.
So it's a Democrat. It's
Leahy.
Right.
Patrick Leahy.
So what? That's the civics lesson.
It's in
the Constitution.
It's in the Constitution, and it's in the Republicans' best interest
to have the election, so that they can at least seat the ones that are probably going to get reelected in their districts.
Probably.
Because if not,
ain't no guarantee right now. We looking at a lot of stuff that might not fall the way it's supposed to.
All right, we made a commitment before the break.
Yeah, we did. Okay. So I see Steve. Somebody want to grab Steve. He's on line 1. Steve from the Gold Coast. How are you? I'm so sorry I had you holding all of this time.
What's up, Steve?
We were just having a conversation.
Oh, it's a great conversation. It's interesting. I mean, the family meeting without Eric is a bit like Friday without Debo. But I mean,
oh my God!
He just called us chopped liver.
No, but we give him his props for being able to invoke Friday and Friday. I love it, Steve. How are you? What's going on? What's your conversation about the virus and the economy?
Well, a couple of points I want to make, and I think you're absolutely right. In that, I wouldn't begrudge anybody the right to be gay in this country. But when one wants to be the poster boy or the bannerman for a party that is antithetical to everything that the gay community stands for, to discover that Lindsey Graham is gay would be an exercise in hypocrisy. It means that you're actively working against your own interests and the interests of people who are like you. And with all due respect to Lindsey Graham, I've met the man in the past, and I know people sometimes only know him because they see little excerpts on the news and so forth. But when I was growing up, there used to be a phrase or adage that would be invoked, when somebody questions a man's sexuality, and like, well, we don't know if he's gay or not, but he's definitely a bit sweet. And that's certainly the way that you would describe Lindsey Graham. So.
Steve, my goodness. But you're right about that. And then we don't care, but just, own it and
exactly.
and we're going to support you, because if he's, look, if someone's
any kind of truth coming out of Lindsey Graham, we're going to support. But right now,
it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get behind it.
Yeah, well, depending. Anyhow,
Steve.
That was a layup. Trust me, nobody was even guarding me.
Oh my God. Anyway,
Steve, a virus and economy, man. What's up?
Yeah, well, exactly. And, and right now, we're the central question, that everybody wants to address. Obviously, we're all still living in the midst of a pandemic, but, other than the whole question of returning kids to school, the only thing that's on anybody's mind is this $600 stimulus that has expired this past week. And, the fact is that this is not just something that, contrary to what people may believe, it's not just a bunch of people on welfare. By the way, you don't get it if you're on welfare. You have to actually have worked in order to be unemployed and therefore to qualify for it.
Exactly.
So do not think that somebody living in, public housing who does not work is getting $600 a month, or rather a week. In addition, that's not any sort of a benefit that they get. You get it if you were working, and you were not working as a function of the coronavirus.
Right.
And by and large, this is middle America. People who go to work in factories, people who have white collar jobs, all sorts of things, And the idea that any party, this is why, the administration has already come to the table and said, well, okay, let's extend it a week, just give us some breathing room. Democrats said no, and obviously it's for good reason. Then they wanted to extend it by perhaps a few months to talk, as if, hypothetically.
Kick the can down the road mentality.
Right, exactly, because they were hoping that, if we can just get it close to the election, and then we can get over that hump, then we can go ahead, But, and to the Democrats' credit, they're saying, no, there is no indication that this is abating. Forget about the second wave. We haven't beaten the first wave yet.
Yeah.
And so in other words, we have to keep this economy alive. And it's not the case, unlike other recessions, where people did not have a job because an industry slowed down and perhaps there was another industry they could perhaps enter into or go back to school or whatnot. Everything is closed.
Yep.
There are no opportunities. The government has said that you cannot return to the restaurant where you work.
And I'm going to pay you to stay home. I'm going to pay you to stay home.
While we figure this out,
right. That's what other countries did. That's what other countries are doing, and we're dragging our feet.
Right. Exactly, because giving somebody an additional $600 a week is a lot cheaper than paying $10,000 a week to keep you in intensive care.
Bingo.
And we don't have the capacity to do that for tens of millions of people. By the way, so this is the problem: is that that you've got the conservative element of the Republican Party that wants to argue that somehow just that you've got all these lazy people who want this benefit somehow.
Because that fits their narrative. There's that boogeyman. Right. It's got to be somebody else. It's got to be an other.
Yep. And on top,
there's never a cap, and there's never a cap when it comes to bailing out. Big industry and Wall Street or whatnot. That's an open checkbook that we can just keep writing until they recovered and pull themselves out from 2008 on. But when it comes to average people, we have to put a cap on that. We can't have that for average people.
Great point. Great point, Steve.
And lastly, this is only for those of us who do this for a living and have friends, honest people in the Republican Party. They have already acknowledged that this is a foregone conclusion. The Trump administration is done. The only question that the Republicans are asking themselves is how many senators is he going to take with him and congressmen? And the question is are the Democrats going to be able to take the Senate and the House, and by how many seats are they going to hold power in Washington? It's not important. The only ones who are still trying to sell this narrative that Trump has a chance are the Trumpites, in the White House. And by the way,
Steve, thanks for saying that. Because
they just pulled all of his national ads in order to come up with a new strategy. Because when you're down 15 points 100 days out, you need to come up with a new strategy. You don't pull your ads when you're winning.
Steve, that's such a good point.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Have a great week and stay safe. So I like what Steve just said there about the fact that they're aware of what's really going on, and as a result, they're trying to shift, but the Senate is more than in play. I've heard, like Mitt Romney said 2 weeks ago, that this could happen and that Trump could still win the election, blah, blah, blah. No, Mitt, that's not true.
Well, it is from the standpoint of how and why he said it. He said that it's possible because the Democrats base a lot of their numbers off of the youth vote,
right?
The youth vote, and they're saying historically the youth haven't showed up for an election, but they know we show up. Black folks show up, so that's why they're doing everything they can to keep their fingers in this election.
To move us away from being able to vote
by going to the poll,
thing, by going, exactly.
All of that was a play
that part, yes, you're right. Let me
Law and Order.
Let me pull that back. The basis of what he was saying is right. And in a crazy world which we're in, it could happen. I think that the message that has to be...
If the election was held today, what do you think the Electoral College would be?
If we had the election on this coming Tuesday, what do I think the numbers would be?
Yep. I've done the math.
Okay, so I'm not looking at a chart, but I would say in excess of 300 for Biden. But if it's not that high, then it could be really close, more like a 290 to 2.
Right now. The way I've figured it out, if it goes even with just, I'm taking so many data from different entities and different places, different sources. I even got an intel person that I kind of speak to every now and then. Right now, they got Biden just barely getting over 270. And Trump is on his heels. Just barely. With everything we've seen, that gives credence to what Eric says all the time.
This goes back to when you asked the question earlier.
So Trump isn't doing the stuff that he's doing now to win this election. He's gearing up to steal this election again.
That's why I was saying with Romney, I see where he's coming from, but the path forward for Trump is to steal the election.
It's got to be. That's the only way.
A close election is one that gets stolen.
That's why I want to get to the United States Postal Service. That's why I got to get to that. This guy that Trump has,
LaJoy.
Yes, that he's appointed
Postmaster General, not actually confirmed by the Senate. Keep going.
Because Obama changed that, some years back, which, he did it for a reason to say you're a sovereign kind of entity, the post office, so let's let you be that.
Right.
We're going to give you a board of governors, we're not going to pick those for you, we can appoint those and whatever.
And a lot of that was a reflection to what the Bush administration had done in forcing them to fund their retirement the way that they did. But keep going. I'm sorry.
So LaJoy, ain't that his name?
Yeah.
Let me look at my notes.
It is LaJoy.
Yes. Okay. So the man they put in charge of the post office has the most to gain from its destruction. Did you know that?
I did.
All right. So Postmaster General Louis DeJoy was before.
He didn't happen to
finance
he
chair.
didn't have any interest in some other companies. No, they wouldn't do that. Trust, that's not fair.
Hey, the company that sorts the mail for the post office, XPO Logistics, right?
Logistics, yep.
They bought his little company.
Yep.
To the tune of about $30 million or so. Yeah. So XPO Logistics is a direct contractor, right? And a direct competitor, if you will, of the Postal Service.
Yep.
So to make the Postal Service, it's private, but it's not private. If people can kind of go with me on that.
I know, but go ahead.
So LaJoy has interests outside of the Postal Service. So he's running the post office.
Into the ground.
He came in and he made all of these changes. I have the memo right here, y'all.
Into the ground.
That said that all of these changes that he's made supposedly were supposed to be making the post office better. No, that's not what it's doing, dog.
Republican words are always making it more efficient.
It's running it into the ground. And mail's being left behind, and we're doing this day to day. So if you leave mail one day and that's supposed to go into the next days, and nothing changes, mail just continues to be left behind because he's got these people on schedules.
And they're cutting their hours. Can't come in. Can't come in early anymore. You can't stay late. You got to leave at these.
All of this is a part of gearing up for
election fraud.
Election fraud.
True election fraud.
Yeah, stealing the election.
Yep. By eliminating people's ability to vote by mail, or better yet, to vote with a mail-in ballot.
We'll talk about it some more.
That's the right way to say it.
Ron, I still see you holding. Eduardo, I still see you holding. We got to get to Tommy.
Breaking windows.
I promise you, we're going to get to you guys after this break. So just keep staying with us because I got some more information for you guys coming up about this United States Postal Service. Stay tuned. 773-763-9278. But stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
This is Jack Charlier. You can find me on Twitter at Citizen Jack. Keep listening to The Family Meeting.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. All benefits are subject to policy definitions, limitations, and exclusions. For details, visit qualityoflifeinsurance.com.
Building a solid insurance plan is like building a place to live. It takes different materials to make it comfortable.
What about a castle? Isn't it just made of stone?
Castles are drafty, but that's not the point. Homes use different building materials, and you need different insurance coverage to give you security.
What about a teepee? Isn't it just made out of one thing?
Skins and poles, but let's stay focused. Quality of Life Insurance is affordable insurance from a leading company and can provide benefits if you're disabled or suffer a serious illness or injury and need help to preserve your lifestyle.
So it's a modern structure to meet my insurance needs.
Exactly.
To find out more, contact the Polaris Insurance Agency. Visit polarisadvice.com or call 312-951-2606 to learn about how we can help you make a plan for your future. That's 312-951-2606.
A 2016 study estimated that 13.1 million Americans were victims of identity theft last year. Fight back against your identity being stolen by signing up for Identity Guard. Identity Guard monitors your credit and identity information with alerts that can help you respond quickly if certain changes indicating fraudulent activity are detected, as well as help protect your computer from viruses, keylogging, and other serious threats. Plus, with Identity Guard's dynamic credit management resources and tools, you will have helpful information as you make better financial and credit decisions. Identity Guard includes $1 million identity theft insurance and lost wallet protection, and more if you ever do become a victim. Protect your ID for as little as $6 per month. Yes, that's only $6 per month by visiting lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com to securely sign up for Identity Guard today.
Hey Chicago, it's time for you to make a difference in a child's life. AARP Foundation Corps is looking for volunteers to help kindergarten to third graders read. You can do it. Here's how you can register. Call 877-926-8300. That's 877-926-8300. And reference AARP Foundation Experience Corps or visit www.aarp.org/eatchicago. It's time for you to help a child read.
Hey, this is Stephanie Miller. Be sure to tune in to my show Monday through Friday, 8 to 11 a.m. But right now, keep listening to The Family Meeting on Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT, AM and FM.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to The Family Meeting. Everything now, Richard.
Yes.
Everything now coming out of the White House is about Trump's re-election.
Period.
Everything they're doing, everything they're saying. You know, most presidential candidates, they want to win. They do. But they're usually able to accept the idea of a possible loss. I read an article where I talked about Engel earlier. Engel said he knew he was going to lose. He flat out said it. He said, I knew I was going to lose, and so I accept the will of the people. Mm-hmm. You know, he just put it out there. He's been in that position for 32 years.
Yeah.
But he said he knew he was going to lose. Trump is hoping by him saying that he can delay the election, which he can't legally do. The only way he can, and Eric said this before, is if he declares martial law.
Right.
That's what all of these protests and Portlands and all of that was for. Yep. That's what him making all these little dog whistle techniques to say, I'm sending troops here, I'm sending people here.
And suburbs, you don't have to worry.
Yeah. But Lori Lightfoot called him on that mess and said, we
tried to tell them that the brick wall was going to be Miss Lightfoot, that she was going to be the mayor that stood up on the front end and said, okay, come on and see what happens.
But you gonna do it by my rules. You're not gonna do it by how you want to do it.
So tie that into election fraud or election delay / the post office.
Okay, so in Trump's quest for re-election,
yep,
he is trying to delay mail-in voting. Now, let's talk about that. We're going to educate people today. Mail-in voting, absentee voting, vote by mail, same thing.
Yep.
It's all the same thing.
Different words.
Now, you have had the ability, always, listen to me now, everybody has always had the ability to request an absentee ballot, which is the same thing as vote by mail, mail-in vote. Same thing. The only difference now is before you had to have a specific reason. A specific reason for requesting your absentee ballot. Maybe you were going to be out of the country. Maybe you were active duty.
Because it tied back to the military.
Exactly. It did tie back to the military. But they've added coronavirus as a reason that you can now request an absentee ballot, which is the same as mail-in vote, vote by mail. Same thing. Do not fall for the old,
Okey doke and banana in a tailpipe.
Oh, thank you. I couldn't call it. Don't fall for that. So, by him installing LaJoy at the Postmaster General,
as Postmaster
General, and him coming in and doing all of these weird things with the post office, he sent out a memo, guys. He sent out a memo. Let me read y'all what's on this memo. This memo was dated July 10th. Now, prior to him being Postmaster General appointed, he was RNC Chairman of Finance.
Yep.
Okay? So, did he divest? Did he step down from that? He's not doing that. A lot of people don't know. His wife, who he's married to, Miss Wos, W-O-S, she's the nominee-elect to be the ambassador to Canada. How'd she get that fancy job?
I don't know.
She's his wife.
Oh, that's how they do it.
That's how they do it. Now, LaJoy gave, get this now, over $2 million to Republican entities to help them get reelected. Okay? And as recently as February, LaJoy gave $265,000 to a Trump PAC.
Yep.
February, he was appointed Postmaster General in May.
Yep. So the funny part about the funny, crazy part about all this, and we got to grab these calls.
I know. Listen. I'm going to grab the phone calls. I just want to get this out here, though. He listen. Okay. Let me take a phone call. Ron, let me talk to you, Ron. Ron, how you doing today?
Good, Teresa and Richard.
Hey.
While we're talking, let me take you off speaker. Can you do this? Go to Saturday's New York Times editorial section. And what you're talking about is going to be portrayed there. Okay, it's going to show Boogaloo gunmen, and it's going to show U.S. Troops or military police or whatever Trump calls them, and how they're dressed. And how it all ties in what you're talking about as far as elections, martial law. Now, Tom Hartman says that at 1878 election, the white supremacists had 3 states hold out their vote because they said there was a fraudulent election dealing. And even though the Republican was ahead in electoral votes and popular vote, by throwing that to that dispute, it went to the state legislators to vote. And in this right now, our time, we have majority Republicans.
Right.
So it will be thrown to
Florida.
Let's not count our chickens.
Right. Florida is one of the states that they're talking about already that could happen, where it could go to the electors of the state. The governor could say, along with the attorney general, that there's fraud in the election and they need to stall the vote total. And send it to the state legislature or the state electors, of which they could then say that all of the votes in Florida are null and void, and we determine who gets our electoral votes. It could happen in Texas. That's another state that they're looking at that it could happen in. The 2 biggest Republican states when it comes to electoral votes. So you're right, Ron.
Yes.
We're not going to sleep on that. And you're right.
And Tom Tall Cotton, I'm sure he's got his thing ready to go.
Sure.
For him to say that it was a necessary evil. So from 1619 to keep that Cotton King and ruling the white slaveocracy, and to this day, because what that oil was, cotton then, is still the oil that seeded this economy now.
Yes.
Even though Trump and his people have destroyed it. And Trump's school, where Barron goes, isn't that something, Barron Trump School?
Yeah.
But DeVos, she gave that school millions of dollars.
She sure did.
You know, and I'll bet she did that because Trump told her, you know, I'm not paying the tuition or the uniforms or his meals, you know, 'cause, you know, he stiffs everybody. And he probably said, you know, Betsy, you got so many fraudulent, give those people the money, you know, and then tell them it was a charity, you know, right?
There you go. There you go.
Yep, that's true.
Great point, Ron.
Thanks, Ron. Stay safe.
Hey, how's it going up there in Michigan? You ready to vote?
You're darn right I am. You know, I'm going to the polls.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ron, you're going to wear a bubble if you have to, right?
If they have to put my brain and my heart, my organs in a test tube and wheel me there like Strom Thurmond, I'm going.
I got you.
Right
Thank
on,
you
Ron.
so much, Ron.
Thanks for your support. Have a great week.
Have a great day.
You too.
Yeah. Listen, he is spot on with what he's saying because those are the ways that they can steal. It's not just, it's Texas, it's Florida, Wisconsin.
Is one of, well, here's where it's most
Johnson and his goons.
Right, but you know the key though, and again, the state legislature, even with Wisconsin now having a Democratic governor, the state legislature is Republican run.
Still Republican run.
So here's what I want everybody to understand: there's really three things that have to happen. Four things. We have to hold the House as a well-thinking society.
Yep.
We have to hold the House of Representatives.
And win the Senate.
We have to win the Senate. We have to win the White House. But this is
winning the White House isn't as crucial as the Senate.
The Senate's because then we put the brakes on. We can actually go back and impeach him again
and get him out.
And get him out.
And get him out the office.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if we were to say the four things that we should do or we'd like to do, maintain the House and even spread it a little bit, win the Senate, win the White House, and we've got to win some governor's mansions.
The state houses, state houses.
We sometimes, to Ron's point, we sometimes forget about that. Because that then dictates what's happening on a state level when it comes to voting.
That's the civics lesson that people need to learn. They're sleeping on stuff like that.
Well, the flashy, shiny object is the White House. It always has been.
So some of the regulations that the new Postmaster General put into place was, he said, and I have his memo that he sent out to his managers. He said, shifts are simple, but they will be challenging as we seek to change our culture and move away from past practices previously used. Specific examples of transportation changes being implemented immediately, and in parentheses, he had today. All operations must meet our 24-hour clock commitment. All trips will depart on time. Late trips are no longer authorized or accepted. That means if they have an overload of mail, which is a lot of mail coming in, which the post office right now needs to stay solvent.
Right.
So their thought process.
You can't get it out, and if you can't get it loaded and get it out, then you can't deliver it.
You have to leave it. Extra trips are no longer authorized or accepted. There must be a proper annotation in the scanner if a contractor failure occurs, meaning the people shipping the stuff out. He put it on them now. It ain't us. It's on them. Carriers must begin on time, leave for the street on time, and return on time. So that means no matter what the volume of mail that they have.
Or conditions.
Which
are not in their control.
They need to be out on the street by a certain time. So that means if all your mail wasn't sorted, and by the way, the employees are sorting mail now. A lot of it isn't being sorted like it was. I used to work for the post office years ago, part-time. But the mail would come in trays, and it would already be kind of pre-sorted for the routes. And then all the mail person would have to do is take it, put it up into their little case where they have everybody's edges, little slots, put it up there, and then take it, bundle it according to how your route went.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you had a few extra pieces, you could throw it in there, But basically, you got all your mail that came pre-sorted.
Yep.
Now they're not doing that.
Nope.
So the carriers have to throw their mail, sort it as they're throwing it because it's not coming pre-sorted, and then if they don't get it all sorted, it has to sit for the next day.
Yeah, and that's not only is that stupid and not efficient and all those other things, it really borderlines on being criminal in some ways because
they're not even trying to hide.
They're not trying to hide
what they're doing anymore.
So that makes you think to Ron's point and others that they're are going to try to steal the election. Not going to try. They're trying already by putting these little dominoes in place to knock them over.
Yeah.
So,
Let's get Eduardo from the Southwest side. He wants to talk about the stimulus package.
Eduardo.
Hey, Eduardo. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, hopefully I get a chance to talk about more than that. I was telling your screener that they should divide the amount. You know, one is saying 6 and the other one's saying 2, since they couldn't come up with an agreement.
You mean on the stimulus
package? Would be 400. So, yeah. So tough luck. But let me comment quickly about masking. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this might lead to some defiance or rebellion with as far as shutdowns. I saw a big protest in Berlin on France TV, and it was about the misleading of news about that. You know, making social distancing and wearing the mask and all that. And in Melbourne, Australia, they're shutting down. They have a curfew. So do you guys see any problem with that in the future? In my opinion, I think bars should be the only ones that should be closed because they're ignorant. They don't know how to do social distancing. You saw that big concert in the Hamptons, all those white people over there in the Hamptons, you know, celebrating and all that. Bars and all that concert stuff is incapable of practicing social distancing, so they need to shut their asses down.
And that's not the point of going to a bar or to a concert. It's to interact and have fun with people. And so, you know...
So quite naturally, your guard's going to be down when you get there and start doing that. You have a few drinks and you're hanging all over people and you're touching and...
Hell, a good Thanksgiving meal is like that. But, yeah, I mean, seriously.
It is.
Thanks, Eduardo.
Eduardo, thank you so
very much.
Thank you very
much, guys. Have a good week.
Yeah.
Stay safe, man.
So your boy LaJoy.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Mr. Postmaster.
Yeah, Mr. Postmaster General. The one with the most to gain by the post office's destruction is running the show. He's running the show.
Hen in the hen house.
Now, this $10 million, let's talk about the $10 billion. Let's talk about that. So the CARES Act allotted $10 billion for the post office. Okay. They renegotiated it and the particulars of it, you know, they wouldn't approve the loan, but they wanted to get some concessions and stuff. So basically they wanted to know who their top contractors were. They just wanted that information to see who they needed to target and go after. It was all political. There was nothing about this. So the Board of Governors unanimously approved LaJoy, right? You know that. Okay. So when they did that, then that meant that they could become a part of Trump's world now, if you will, because they invited, like you said, the hen into the hen house. He didn't take office coming in to better the post office. He came in specifically, and I'm just going with the data here.
No, it's true.
He came in specifically to cripple, to handicap the post office.
Just long enough, because maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're exactly right, because the longer we can delay, Trump thinks that this economy is going to somehow miraculously turn around. People are going to miraculously stop dying from a virus that they didn't protect us from.
Nope.
Don't make any mistake.
Or give people the tools.
Well, this committee that they just had, where the Republicans, I think, were running, and they were asking Fauci all of these different questions. Do you think him doing this saved lives? Fauci said yes. What he couldn't do is elaborate. Yeah, I think it saved. I just don't think it saved enough lives. We've got almost 160,000 people that are going to be dead, and here we are talking about come Labor Day, 200,000.
Yeah.
We're losing people.
I thought it was. I mean,
we're losing a person a minute.
I thought it was 15, and we were gonna get the heat, and it was gonna miraculously go away. Yeah. And why are not enough people?
Because, like you said earlier, Pence isn't a doctor, Trump isn't a doctor, and the one person that the thing that they should be relying on is the science of this. They excluded him and made him a pariah and said that he didn't get it right.
Yeah.
But so now we see what we see right now. Okay. We're going to take our last break. Miss Tanya, I still see you holding, and we still got to get Tommy. I'm going to get to you guys as soon as we come back from break. So just Sit tight. Hold on. You guys all sit tight with us. Stay tuned for more of the family meeting. We'll be right back.
This is Georgia, Eric's mother. Stay tuned for more of Eric and his guests this week.
Do you have a pain that won't cease? A health issue that's not getting better? It may be time you visited Health on Earth Wellness Centers. With over 20 years experience, 4 Chicagoland locations, and patients that range from 2 months old to 93, Health on Earth Wellness Centers are fully prepared to meet all your chiropractic needs. We have state-of-the-art facilities in Crestwood, Tinley Park, the South Loop, and Naperville. Don't let being healthy be your last resort. Make it your first choice. Make an appointment today at healthonearth.org. That's healthonearth.org. Do you have a pain that won't cease? A health issue that's not getting better? It may be time you visited Health on Earth Wellness Centers. With over 20 years experience, 4 Chicagoland locations, and patients that range from 2 months old to 93, Health on Earth Wellness Centers are fully prepared to meet all your chiropractic needs. We have state-of-the-art facilities in Crestwood, Tinley Park, the South Loop, and Naperville. Don't let being healthy be your last resort. Make it your first choice. Make an appointment today at healthonearth.org. That's healthonearth.org.
A single K plan is a 401k plan designed especially for business owners and immediate family, regardless if they are incorporated or not. Single Ks offer both employer and employee contributions and in many cases have no setup fee or annual plan administrative charges. Single Ks are simple to administer with no government reporting required. Most importantly, this plan allows employees to access their savings via hardship withdrawals or loans. Visit our website at polarisadvice.com or call us about your business or organization's retirement plan at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Polaris provides empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA, and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street Financial are not affiliated.
Hi, this is Attorney Cannon Lambert. Go to my website, www.getthecannon.com. Welcome back to the family meeting.
All right, y'all. That last break is over, so it's going to be like rapid fire.
Okay.
Miss Tanya, let's talk to Miss LaTanya. Hey, Tanya, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello.
I'm doing just fine. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, you can. Okay, I'm petitioning for, let's break it down. I'm petitioning for a sister to be the Veep. Not a woman of color, but a sister.
All right.
At this point, with the orange dude in D.C., because I don't give him the number because that would validate that he's president. No, he's the orange dude in D.C. public housing.
All right,
He
now.
committed so many atrocities in the last 4 years that at this point, Biden should be questioning it. He's not. So Biden needs to come to Jesus moment. He should be running this campaign like the lives of every American depend on it, because they do. And he should be out there every day swinging so he wins this election by a landslide. Now, with the sister VP, that's somebody who's got backbone, who's got the courage to lay it on the line, John Lewis style.
Yep.
Now, any of the black women on his short list can do this because they've done it before. That's part of their lifestyle.
That's right.
And they can do it without breaking a sweat. Now, if you need any examples, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and Fannie Lou Hamer.
Yeah. And the list goes on. That's just
Yeah.
the early. That's just the early part of the list, Tanya. That I have been. I pushed myself back from sending out a very hard-nosed tweet this weekend with all this hubbub about why these 3 or 4 top black women are being now picked at. But why they're being picked at by this quote-unquote need for white male patriarchy. Okay, listen to the thing that I will tell you that everybody should understand. These women, it's not even a question of being more than qualified. It's what the country needs right now. Take qualifications essentially off the table. That energy, that success, that history, that care for the country, on and on and on. The least privileged women in North America are black women.
Mm-hmm.
but have been the most hard fighting.
We're suffering the most disproportionately too.
Women in North America, and so I'm pretty preachy about this, Tanya, too. I'm really at that point now, and I believe me, all my white sisters that are out there, I'm with you. I know you want to be first, but what do you want?
But y'all need to wait.
You need not even wait. You need to just get on the train and go, you know what? These black women going to get me home as they always have.
That's right.
Yeah, we've been holding them. As Eric said, God is a black woman.
Tanya, I was joking this weekend with my wife about it. I said, Martha Stewart, when she came out of prison, she came out a different woman. But one of the reasons why she did is it's documented. You know who protected Martha Stewart 6 while she was in prison, right?
Mm-mm.
Black
Sister
women.
Girls.
The Sister Girls did. Yes, she
Yeah.
did. So
it's not a matter of a qualified black woman as a vice president, because if you don't win that election, you don't have her. It's a qualified person to win the election.
There it is.
He needs a backbone. He needs a black woman who's out there, and they're going to have no problem saying, hold up, wait a minute. Doing the West Side Story next world. And that's what he needs. He needs a West Side Story, switching that neck back and forth. And Orange Boy won't know what to do.
No, that's exactly right. And there's one other thing, Tanya.
Thank you, Miss Tanya.
Thanks,
we appreciate
Tanya. Have a great
that.
week, and thanks for supporting us.
You're welcome.
She's exactly right.
She is.
She is exactly right.
That's the country needs a neck snap right now.
Yep.
It just does.
All right, y'all. I know Tommy has a lot to say, so we're gonna get Tommy in here so we can keep him from busting out somebody's windows so he busts himself. Tommy, what's up, man?
Greetings, Earthlings. We have captured Eric Grant because you have not paid attention to the things that he has said. We've taken him to the planet Sanity. We are now seeking Tressa and Richard, because you are so dumb that you do not recognize how far the boot of reality is up your behind. So we leave you with this warning and this straight message that you might be able to redeem Eric back, and you still have a chance if you will redeem to us the sum of 60 million M&Ms. Goodbye, Earthlings.
Oh my God!
As always, Tommy just
spot on.
He just brings it on home. Thank you for that. That is our weekly duty.
He just got to it quickly. He's like, you know what? I got to go break some windows because these people are not paying attention. They're not listening. They're not using their brain.
60 million M&Ms, though.
Yeah.
But somebody better start going to the store and buying some bags of M&Ms.
So, okay, my brain went in a goofy direction. I heard the M&Ms, and then I thought about guessing jelly beans in the jar, which made me think about President Obama, which made me think about John Lewis's homecoming. I tweeted this out, Tressa. I said that, as always, President Obama is eloquent and to the point and just, does the things that warms our hearts socially, politically.
Yeah.
And he was also pissed at the federal government, and he didn't hold back. I mean, there were times when I thought he was going to go a little bit further, and I know there were ones who wanted to criticize him for, speaking the way that he did at Representative Lewis.
I welcomed it.
And John Lewis would have wanted that.
He did. He said John would have wanted exactly
because he was about voter suppression and about voting
John
rights.
did what most people don't do. John lived his life in truth. He wasn't just telling the truth.
Yeah.
He lived his life in truth. That's why this voter thing, and if you can, please, that book that came out, I am trying to sell Norman's book, but it will give you so much more context into Bill Barr, what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also another book. Oh, I wrote it down. I can't remember what it was. It's a book that I'm reading right now. I can't even remember the name of it.
I'll tell you a book to read that's good. And again, we're not trying to sell other people's books, but the information is about helping the community that we all are part of. This woman, her name is Sarah Kendzior, and she has written a book, and it's called In Plain Sight. And it speaks to, like some of Malcolm Nance's books are, and we all kind of know who Malcolm is, I've been speaking to how the elections are not only have been stolen, but are continuously being tampered with.
Yeah. So I said what I said today to talk about what's going on at the United States Postal Service to make sure that everybody understands. about the differences with, because those are the dog whistles that are out here. Oh, the election's going to be fraudulent because people are going to be mailing in all these fraudulent ballots. You've always had the ability to request an absentee ballot. It was only before under certain circumstances. But they've added coronavirus and coronavirus fears as one of those reasons why you can ask for an absentee ballot. And knowing what you know now about the game that's on, because make no mistake about it, this is a game on about trying to do what they can to rig and steal this election. Every state right now has a date. Depending on what state you live in, they have a date as to when you can request your absentee mail-in, vote-by-mail ballot.
Right.
Do not wait until that deadline. Find out what it is. Do it now.
Do it now. Just don't even wait. Don't even think about it anymore.
That way, come early voting, or you can mail it in, you can have it in, and you will have allowed time for their snail mail that they've
are going to slow down even
slow
more.
down this mail for.
I mean, and
right.
this is my, it's, Eric texts us about he could
Number one, make sure you registered to vote. That's first.
Right.
If you request a mail-in ballot, then you'll know if you're registered to vote. Because if they don't send you one, you know they've kicked you off the voter rolls. Again, that's part of...
And this is the insidious part of what, going back to something Eric said about if the banks, if the landlords were to hold off on rent, and if the banks were to hold off on those
everything should have
mortgages,
just stopped.
It should have stopped, because the number of people who may have lost their homes or their actual physical address to be mailed to may not physically be there.
Exactly.
And as a result, that by itself is going to be, that's an insidious form of voter suppression.
Voter suppression.
Okay.
And it's game on for that. I'm telling you, what they're doing, what they did in Georgia, what they're continuing to do in Georgia, what they did in Florida. They gave the felons the right to vote, and then they
took it away, saying that your fees aren't paid.
Your fees aren't paid.
But shout out to LeBron and other NBA players for what you're doing. Putting your money where your mouth is.
Paying those fees.
Yeah, that's
so
something
they can vote because they know we need
absolutely.
that.
They know they do, and I give these young guys major credit for putting their money where their mouth is on that subject specifically. But coming back to what you're saying about the list, Tressa, I don't know if we have that posted at our website or not.
No, I can post it. I can post it there.
We want to do that because a lot of people are not paying attention to the date. And they're going to wait too late to request their their absentee ballot.
Request it now.
Right now. Do not wait, because I believe if
you plan on not going to the poll, I personally I'm standing
in line. I'm going to wake up at 4:00 in the morning.
I'm going to make sure.
I'm going to beat you there.
Yeah.
But here's one other thing on that on about the list, Tressa, and about not waiting. Because to Tressa's point earlier about the post office and what they're doing, what LaJoy is doing now is only going to get worse.
Yeah.
And I believe that as the polls continue to show an increase with Biden and a decrease with Trump,
it's only going to get more desperate.
And that's the one area that they can just continue to milk it down and milk it down and milk it down to the point of saying that there's been some fraud at the post office. We're going to close the post office for a couple of weeks.
Let me go you one better.
To see what the fraud is.
Let me go you one better. The committee that would investigate election fraud at the Department of Homeland Security, they disbanded it.
I know, they did.
There's 2 people left on that committee doing the work of what 24 people were doing. So how the heck are they going to do a whole entire country's election between 2 people to see where the election fraud came from?
And the use of martial law isn't just because of political unrest. A lot of people don't know that. Martial law can be declared
for other reasons.
And this could be one of those reasons.
Yep. And Trump he's itching to do that.
Yep.
So all I'm saying to everybody is this election is too important for you to sit out. It's too important for you not to know.
You can't wait.
It's too important for you to wait. You have to know. The other book that I was talking about is called Uncounted.
Okay.
It's by Gilda Daniels. It's called The Crisis of Voter Suppression in America. This will tell you exactly what they are doing. And if you know and have access to the game book, the playbook. You know what plays they're using. You can win the game if you know their plays.
And the other book to throw into the mix is Tom Hartman's book, the War on Voting, which is a good breakdown of what's happened and then how that's going to be potential to repeat
but
itself.
we know what's going on with the post office. I gave you guys a civics lesson today. Get out there and be proactive in this. Do not take it for granted. You know that you know.
For those who are listening and watching and following us, if you have someone in your family, as much as we've been talking about taking someone to the polls to vote, we know that the game has changed with regard to COVID-19. So this time around, it's going to be all hands on deck. You may need to make sure that that person or persons, your five that you're going to take to the polls, that they have an absentee ballot. And you need to remind them now.
And COVID-19 is a reason for that now.
And if you've got, if you're here in Chicago metro area, but you got family in,
but you have to request it too.
Right. So in some of these other crazy states that are going to continue the shenanigans, reach out to them now. And let them know, hey, request your ballot now. Don't wait until October 1st.
I'm going to post this deadline on our website to show when those states have those deadlines to request that mail-in ballot, absentee ballot, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. So when you hear them talking about, oh, mail-in voter registration is going to be this, that, it's the same thing.
Right.
It is the exact same thing. Absentee ballot is the same thing as vote by mail, mail-in vote. Same thing.
And it's the least fraudulent form of voting. Oddly enough. Well, I'm sorry. Second to voting physically, and there's a paper ballot.
Yeah, Trump. He's just doing everything he can.
And it's the people around him. It's the people. It's
he told me he was going to New York to throw out the first pitch for the Yankees, and that's like, what?
Sorry, dude.
We didn't even know you invite. We invite you.
And then whined about it.
Yeah, and then Susan Rice trolled him.
Yes.
She said, "What's the matter, President? Mr. President can't get it up and over the plate."
See, and this is the thing. This is the thing that a lot of people just aren't ready for. But too bad, they aren't ready for. Senator Harris doesn't give a damn.
No. Susan Rice don't give a damn either.
Ambassador Rice doesn't give a damn. And Representative Demings doesn't give a damn.
They don't give a damn.
And people, I'm just going to say it as it is. Too many, even progressive white folks in America.
Yeah. Two things I want you guys to keep your eyes on. And I don't know when this is going to happen, but keep your eyes on this. Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin has been going back and forth to Russia, right? So right now he's peddling misinformation for the elections and Russian misinformation he's trying to revive that Burisma stuff, okay? Just like McConnell did with Derek Olipaska. When they kind of took him off the watch list and gave him, there's going to be an infusion of cash into Representative Johnson's campaign, and it's going to be from a Russian entity. Y'all keep an eye on that.
Just like they did with
they calling him the sleeper cell.
Yeah. Just like McConnell did with the aluminum company.
Exactly. Just like he did with the aluminum company. So you guys keep your eyes on that, and just don't wait on this election. Please be proactive. Get out there. Get your request in. I'll post this on our website so you guys know what the deadline is for you in your states.
Absolutely.
How about that civics lessons today?
Man, can I sit in the front of the class, please?
I might have to bump you to the back a little bit. You know,
man,
you
I'll
had
pay
your
attention.
hand up just a little
I
too.
did too much.
But thank you for being here with me today.
I wouldn't have been anyplace else.
Oh man,
miss you, E.
Yeah,
we love you.
We miss you, Eric. Devin.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for hanging out with us and kicking on this show. And for all of you that listen to us each week, we thank you, we love you, and we so appreciate you being here with us. Next week, same time, Bat Channel, we'll be here. We hope you will be too. Thank you.
Bye.
From the Family Meeting. Bye-bye.
The preceding program, The Family Meeting, is sponsored by the Polaris Insurance Agency and Eric Grant, and to the extent of its guests, the views and opinions reflected do not necessarily express the views and opinions of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
and did those 4 spacewalks and over 100 hours of science and research. That was really extra here. The primary mission was to get this spaceship certified for future operational missions.
Correspondent Rachel Crane reports their return clears the way for another SpaceX crew to blast off as early as next month. Tropical storm Isaias continues to move, and meteorologist Tom Sater says mid-Atlantic states will see some of this storm in the coming days and lots of rain.
The big problem is going to be the heavy rainfall into the Carolinas beginning around midnight tomorrow, late in the evening in Charleston, all the way up into New England. By Wednesday morning, it'll be in Maine.
The National Hurricane Center warns of minor river flooding and isolated moderate river flooding in portions of the Carolinas where up to 7 inches could fall. Well, after first saying the press would not be allowed when the Republican National Convention renominates Donald Trump for president, correspondent Jeremy Diamond says that option is being re-examined.
The Republican National Committee's